after I graduated from Friends, I went to Hoggard, then I went to college, then I went to seminary, and now I'm a chaplain at a hospital in Boston. I work mostly with cardiology patients and patients at end-of-life care, and I mean, a lot of what I do, we do like prayers with patients, we do blessings and ritual things, but I also spend a lot of time just talking to people who are at or close to the end of their life about what their story has been and what their life has been like. And I was thinking about my time at Friends and everything, and I remember we used to sort of have like themes, I think, either for the year or like for the half a year, about like a question that we'd be thinking about throughout the year. And one of the questions was like, where do you come from and where are you going, when I was with Pam. And I think something that was always true about, and I think the structure of like meetings for worship and other things about the Quaker education really inspired this. Like, they're always thinking about your story and like what your journey is from either from the beginning of your time at Friends on to wherever you'll be, or even just throughout a single year. Like, what are the challenges you're facing? How are we not just sort of like pushing you to go through them, but how are we accompanying you through them? And I think that really planted some seeds in my mind that like once I got into college, I really wanted to be a journalist, but and I really loved talking to other people about what their stories were and like being able to help them tell their stories or tell their stories more loudly. But in my job now and the work I do now, I'm really grateful for having that appreciation for what someone's story is and being able to think about that for myself. And so that was a really important thing about me when I was at Friends.
I'm Dawson. I'm Walker's brother. He has a leg up because he does public speaking on the regular. I'm a roadie. I went to college. I went to college in DC, and now I travel with the Kevin Hart Irresponsible tour. So roadies, by their nature, especially the guy, I work in like a 6-man department, and the guys I work with especially are really like rough and tumble, and they're like hard, like violent, like the road life is an angry one. And so there's a lot of like casting insults back and forth and yelling, and they call me soft. So I can't do that. Like, I never even learned how, because I learned like Pacific conflict resolution and integrity, showing a kind face to the people around you. And so they're like, you were raised wrong. I don't think they're right, because they want me to be like them, and they're not good. But I was like, like Walker, and like Cameron, like my parents, like Friends School. So no, Friends School gave me really good mentors and taught me how to be a person. And they also put up with so much nonsense, so much silliness and shenanigans from me and my camp. And I don't know, I always wanted a chance to thank them, and now that's it. Pass the buck to Philip.
Philip? Alright, well, I'm Philip, yeah. I graduated in Friends 2011, I think. And yeah, from there I went to NC State, did environmental science, and I'm going on the environmental science path, and I'm gonna be an industrial hygienist. Woohoo! That's the plan. And I mean, above all, Friends School, I always think of the golden rule, which is used 1,000 times over and over. But like with meaningful worships, it kind of allowed me to understand how to dissect it myself and take it just away from the words and like understand what it means and kind of really just empathize with people. So, I mean, I don't know. It's not a lot. I can say, I guess, treat others the way you want to be treated, Spicers.
Thank you, Philip! We love you, Philip! All right.
Fourth and unexpected alum. So my name's Ariana Nasser. Now, actually, I earned a Michaels. Yeah. So I'm a member of the class of 2008, which sounds really strange because that was a decade ago. It makes me feel kind of old. And I went on to get my engineering degree from NC State, go Pack, and then I'm finishing up my medical degree at UNC School of Medicine. And the thing that I keep going back to and just being here and talking to all of you guys is the idea of like fostering curiosity as a way to build better learning and implement that as a way to like help build future scientists and artists and engineers. And there's this day that I vividly remember. I don't know if Bruce still teaches, but there was one day we were in class and we were like looking at slides of algae under a microscope, and there was like some sort of like, there were no textbooks, but there was a discussion of like algae and dinoflagellates. I don't know yeah, and Bruce was like, you know what? We should see this for real. So he piled us onto a bus Oh
my gosh.
And we spent like the next few hours collecting samples in the marsh and like catching things that we brought back to that fish tank. It was always full of like
Oh, yeah.
And I just remember like at the time being like, this is cool. This is like a normal day for us. And to see how that's not a normal day for so many students in American schools makes me really realize and appreciate the effort that my parents put into making sure that I had a wonderful education. So thank you, friends.